Do you enjoy a little mud hole? A little history? A little river crossing? A little aerial photography? How about a couple of arches thrown in? Well, then this is the place for you. Welcome back to the Kentucky Adventure Tour. You know, that 900-plus mile trail that winds its way through the Appalachian countryside and hills of Kentucky, otherwise known as the Cat? We started driving a little before 9 o'clock that morning, leaving from S-Tree where we had camped the night before. I was amused by something marked Slick on the Cat map, and we soon found out what it was. This picturesque old wooden bridge is truly slippery when wet. If you park on the far side of the bridge, you can take some overgrown social trails down to the river where you can see the bridge from below in all its beauty. Soon after you leave the bridge behind, you'll find a drastic change in scenery when you encounter this timbered area. Here you'll find yourself often asking, is it right or is it left? I hope you remember to download your maps, because when seen from above, this place is a warren and a maze of old roads. The trail itself was actually fairly smooth and easy to drive, but it certainly challenged our navigation abilities. Expect to find multiple choice roads all the way up to the edge of the woods. Do you go right? Do you go left? We decided to go right. In that particular case, we later discovered it didn't really matter which trail we took. They both led to the same place, up to the main trail in the woods. But I was flying my drone at the time, and, well, those beautiful woods made it somewhat challenging to find a good landing place. You might be interested to know that this track that you're taking today, since you left that bridge behind, is actually part of the Sheltowee Trace. The Sheltowee Trace is a 343-mile recreation trail that was organized back in 1979. A young man by the name of Vern Orndorff, who worked for the U.S. Forest Service, started creating the trail back in the 1970s. The trail starts almost 160 miles northeast of where we were driving today, and then passes through Twin Knobs, the Red River Gorge, Natural Bridge, the Daniel Boone National Forest, Holly Bay, Cumberland Falls, and Big South Fork before extending another 47 miles into Tennessee. If you want to know why it's called the Sheltowee Trace, you have Daniel Boone to thank for that. He was captured near here by Shawnee Indians while he was making salt. His adopted father, Chief Blackfish, named him Sheltowee, which means big turtle. Although the trace often follows country roads like this is actually primarily a hiking trail. This particular part of the trail along Wildcat Road boasts several small obstacles like mudholes and rocky sections. But all of these obstacles, well, they were no problem for our trailer. We didn't find very many open viewpoints along this section of trail, but we did stop here, where you can stop and look down over the edge of a cliff and get just a glimpse of the hills and trees beyond.
have to do it again or what?
Only if you want to.
Well, apparently he wanted to back it up, because check out this. I'd say it was worth it. The next stop along the trail is the Camp Wildcat Battlefield. It was the fall of 1861, and Confederates under the command of Felix Zollicoffer, they'd entered Kentucky and won several victories in southeastern Kentucky, including taking the Cumberland Gap. The way was open for them to progress all the way to Lexington. On October 21st, 1861, those Confederates encountered Union troops at Wildcat Mountain. Thanks to several thousand last-minute Union reinforcements, the Union force of 7,000 overcame the 5,400 Confederates and pushed them back down to Tennessee. This was one of the first Union victories in southern Kentucky and helped improve morale for the Union. Today you can hike a half-mile out to Hospital Rock, or you can take the 1.9-mile trail up to Hoosier Ridge where you can still see the trenches from that battle. A few miles after you leave the battlefield behind, you'll come across this exquisite crossing of the Rockcastle River. The water wasn't all that high while we were there, but you can see it still reached up to the bottom of our bumper. The Rockcastle River is known as one of Kentucky's best whitewater streams. This particular section of river, from this takeout down to the freeway, it attracts beginner kayakers and anglers. That same landing also turned out to be a perfect place for us to get out, stretch our legs, and do a little bit of exploring. The track from the landing first takes you to a highway, and then under the freeway, but eventually it gets you back on track on beautiful country roads. This is Dog Branch Road. I remember because I turned around and told Rue we were on her road. But even the most beautiful of roads can sometimes have unexpected detours.
I bet he's stuck, so I don't know if I can pull him. Not with my trailer on.
The driver of this horse trailer was truly stuck. She was stuck on a steep hill with two-wheel drive. She couldn't back up. She couldn't go forward. Our traction boards were useless for her. Our winch, well, she weighed a lot more than we could pull.
But what's needed is a tractor to hook on and just take her all the way up.
It really does need a tractor, something big and heavy that will creep right up that without a problem.
She didn't want to, but she was gonna have to call her husband to come help her get out with a tractor.
Bye, horses. Good luck.
As that trailer blocked the entire road, that meant game over for this particular section, so we turned around and went back the way we came. What we didn't realize is that detour was going to turn out just as blocked as the last road.
This is turning into a hell of a detour.
So once again, I was looking back at those maps, finding yet another detour and getting back on the road. Thankfully, that detour got us back on the Cat just in time to see the arches. There's really not a great parking area here, so you just kind of have to pull off to the side of the road. But let me tell you, these little gems are worth the stop.
There he is.
Once you leave those arches behind, you'll find yourself back on track in an idyllic woodland. It was about that same time when we were driving through these beautiful trees that we realized it was about time for us to locate camp for the evening. The Cat has some dispersed camping, but we weren't finding any in this area. So as much as we enjoyed the beauty of the trees, we knew we'd have to look further. Holly Bay wasn't too far on, but we knew those campgrounds were big and would have lots of people. So instead, I searched a little bit, and I found a couple of national forest campgrounds that were just the right size for us. Sure, Bee Rock wasn't exactly on the Cat, it was several miles off, but it looked like a perfect place for us to stop for the evening. So as soon as we make it across this last water hole, we'll make our way towards Bee Rock. Bee Rock Campground has 25 first-come, first-served campsites, many of which are only steps from the beautiful Rockcastle River. The campground is actually split on both sides of the river, and it's joined by this beautiful footbridge that was created by the Civilian Conservation Corps. Today it also carries many messages of inspiration and hope for those in need. That evening after dinner, we enjoyed watching the sunset over the bridge. I hope you enjoyed joining us for our adventure from S-Tree Campground to Bee Rock Campground, and I hope you'll come back again tomorrow, because tomorrow we leave the trailer behind so we can take on the challenge that is the next segment of the Kentucky Adventure Tour. Thanks for watching. Now go out and find your own adventure.